All right, Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching this word now, true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to get into a lesson concerning the end of the world. And all these plethora of signs that we see is no coincidence at all. This is all part of the script. This thing you call life, you know, everything we see is all part of prophecy. And now we're in a time where concerning this chapter, this system, this age, it's about to be summed up, man. And these series of events are clear signs of it. And I got an article from here. This is from the USA Herald. And it reads, is something pushing it? NASA tracks 3I Atlas as the interstellar comet suddenly speeds up through the solar system. So as you can see, this will contribute to that perplexity, man. And as you get closer to the end of a movie, things become clearer and clearer. You know who the bad guy is. You know what his intentions are. You know, the hero. You know, everything is being made clear and obvious. Their lots and the scene. It all comes together, man. You know. But as you can see, you know, these devils, man, they really got their eyes in the sky because they understand prophecy, man. The return of Yahweh Shai, you know. Let's see. 3I Atlas and NASA has become the focus of intense scientific scrutiny after new tracking data revealed that the rare interstellar comet is accelerating and subtly changing course in ways that standard gravitational models cannot fully explain. So they can't put their science, and you put formulas, you know what I mean, you plugging in numbers to try to make sense of this. No, we make it sense of it by going to the scriptures, man. You know, this is heaven's host. See, these devils about to, they in for a rude awakening. They understand it. That's why they got a planetary defense, you know. And I ain't talking about from no fucking comet. Let me jump down. It said NASA detects a puzzling acceleration. It said according to NASA's latest tracking data, interstellar comet 3I Atlas, formerly classified as Comet 3I Atlas, in some coverage had picked up speed after passing its closest point to the sun. It said the increase is not trivial. Measurements show the comet velocity climb to roughly 244,000 kilometers per hour, with some analysis translating that figure to about 152,000 miles per hour as it continued outbound. What caught scientists off guard is that gravity alone does not appear to explain the change. Hey, the Earth is spinning faster. You got the planets lining up, the different moons, you know. You got the signs in the heavens as well as things. You got a digital system being put in place on the planet Earth. This is all things pointing to the end of the world. Like I said, to the end of this movie. When you see James Bond, he finally face to face with that bad guy, you know, all right, this movie about to get summed up, you know. So all the pieces are here for the end of the world. Let's get this in the book of St. Luke, chapter 21, and verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars. See? And that's one of the signs right now, that three-eye atlas. As you can see, it's really under heavy scrutiny. Every move it make, these devils is and you best believe the Pentagon is getting first reports before any even hit anybody else's ears. The Pentagon is the one that's getting news first. Going back to that war in heaven. That's why this devil Trump came up with a space force. You got weaponry out in space. It's all coming together now. It says, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity the sea and the waves roaring. So as things happening in the heavens, the earth as well, the earth is being shaken up as well. Talk about the earthquakes, which is literal and figurative, because you do have a series of earthquakes, which that is pretty much becoming a norm now. Just an earthquake, actual literal natural disaster. That's just a norm to hear about, a series of earthquakes happening per day. But even things that shake up the earth, certain events that shake up things, even with this Israel, Gaza, that shit shaking up things, So this just show you what we had in this process. It says, the sea and the waves roaring. So these people being stirred up. But just going back to the point, what other conclusion can you come to but the end of the world? These are the signs. What's that? 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter. And verse 1, he answered me then and said, matter of fact, let's go to chapter 8 and read into chapter 9. This is 2 Ezra 8. And I start at verse 61 and reads, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. And that's actually going into now. Because ain't no other time on the earth where you had the technology on display. You got weapons of mass destruction. That's an actual term. That's a thing. And that's the height. That's the highest degree. But even everything else in between, from needles to mechanical dogs, airborne diseases, just Esau himself being in power, show you that the judgment of the Lord is at hand. These things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee, and are few like thee. And that's why, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, we have a feel for the end of the world. We know we at the end, because the Lord have given us the eyes to see. Having the testimony of Yahweh Shai talks about, as a light that shineth in a dark place. So we see that the judgment of the Lord is at hand. We at the end of the word. It says, but, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not showed me. See, so you can see, it said the judgment is now at hand. But he was talking about the judgment that will take place in the last times. This is it right here. I'm going to verse chapter 9 now. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, this is it. This is it right here. That moment. Because going back to the point, these signs, we have always inquired of this moment. All the prophets have inquired of this moment. So now we here. It says, then shalt thou understand. See, that is the very same time wherein the heights will begin to visit the world which he made. And that world ain't just reserved to the planet Earth. Now that's concerning the world of Edom, because Esau will be the one that's in power when the Lord returns. So that's that world he's going to visit that he made. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So as you can see, it says you're going to see these things unfold, from the earthquakes, as I mentioned earlier, in the spirit, literal earthquakes, to earth-shaking events. And even at 3i Atlas, that's a earthquake in a sense, because these astrologers and they eyes is all on that shit, man. In that perplexity, they said that puzzle, the numbers is not adding up. They can't say it's gravity or they saying something pushing it. It's the spirit y'all bashing outside. And the Lord putting the fear on these devils. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end of the world is here. So-called white man, his reign of terror is at an end, man. So, matter of fact, I'm going to end off on this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 24. It reads, the first anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. See? So this is where we at now. We in the latter days. And the wrath of the Lord is on display. And it's gonna be on display in its fullness by the way of World War III.